And when people realized that this was owned by an African or an African descendant, I think they just said it was time. Especially around the time when I believe WhatsApp was now looking at privacy issues and things like that.
Hey everyone, this week on the Trailblazers, we have an amazing entrepreneur originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa. He later migrated to the United States, but he and his company have developed this wonderful voice messaging app, Supfrica, which has gone viral on the continents of Africa, Asia, and other parts of the world. Stay tuned to hear not only about it, but his phenomenal story, growing up poor, but becoming super successful. His name, by the way, Al-Hassan Hafiz Bakarr Sr, more commonly referred to as Mr. Hafiz. Stay tuned. What's your word to them?
I would say to fight for your dreams, fight for your purpose.
Life that inspires you, that motive that you aspire to be. Right?
Meaningful and critical. It's not a waste time movement, damn it.
In my humble opinion, is become very comfortable with yourself.
Very important. You know, the saying in Jamaica, one hand can't clap.
You forgive yourself for allowing people to mistreat you.
Disciplines that we need to embody.
You just have to work at it and be committed. Everyone.
And scary to have all of that fall away from you. And you have to celebrate those wins. Work with fitness clients.
For guidance, rely on Christ for support.
And no rush. I did it. I made my move into entrepreneurship at 40.
So chicken, so scared that when...
What, last comments would you want to share with
you have your core values, you do the right things, it'll fall in place for you.
Hey everyone, I am Tamara McKayle, television presenter, communication specialist, and of course, producer and host of the Trailblazer series. I'm inviting you to join the family. Just click the notification bell, subscribe, and stay with us for weekly inspirational episodes. I promise you will love it. The man behind the viral voice messaging app, Supfrica, that is making waves in Africa, Asia, and other parts of the world, even being featured on BBC and more, is Al-Hassan Hafiz Bakarr Sr, a businessman and entrepreneur who was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa, and later migrated to the United States. This Trailblazer tells us more in this episode. Hi, Mr. Hafiz. It is a pleasure to have you joining us on the Trailblazers, and I understand you're all the way in Sierra Leone.
Yes, how you doing? Thanks for having me. Yes, I'm in West Africa, Sierra Leone right now.
That's amazing. I mean, we have, totally different time difference, but the beauty of technology, which you know of, can connect us. So it's a pleasure to have you joining on the program. I was so excited to have you, just looking at your bio and also the app that you have created, which has gone viral. But before we delve into your work aspect, tell me about you, because I understand that you are from Sierra Leone, but later on you had migrated to the United States. So tell me about that.
Yes, I was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa, about 1977. Lived there, I think about 7 years old. No, actually for 9 years old. So I was 9 years old with my grandmother. And then around when I was 9, my mother, called for me to go to America, and that was where I was pretty much raised before I came back here for business and for personal reasons.
Okay, so that means that even though you migrated at an early age, you still kept a deep connection to Sierra Leone.
Right. Well, I mean, as you know, those who migrate to America or other areas, you're with your family, so you do have a sense, because you're growing up in a household. But it's just, I'll say recently in the past 5-6 years, I've gone back. Since I went to America, it took me 30 years to go back, because when you're there, you're so focused on school and on other things that your life becomes totally drowned as in the American or the Western way. But about 5 to 7 years ago, I decided to find out more about where I came from and take a visit, and this is where it all started.
That's amazing. So talk to us, what was life? I mean, you lived in Sierra Leone for at least 9 years of your life. I've never been. I would love to visit one day. But talk to us, what was life like for you in those early years? And then also making that transition to a totally different country and culture.
Well, I mean, from what I remember, life was simple. You know, you don't really, life from then and now is two different things. Growing up, of course, you know, as a simple life. Of course, you know, you see certain things that you wonder now that why I didn't have, like, you know, electricity and other things that was difficult. But at that time, because that's where you're from or what you know, you didn't consider it difficult. A lot of family, because family took care of, you know, aunties, uncles, you know, you were all one family. And just, you know, seeing that in growing up, you know, having fun as a child, making friends, and just exploring and, you know, what's out there. Because, you know, you always saw airplane going across the sky, so you always wonder, you know, where they're going, you know. So the environment of Sierra Leone, I would say at that time, was very peaceful, very loving. But as an early, you know, my early age, I always knew that I wanted to do better for my country and my people, because it didn't make sense what I saw around me in certain instincts. But living in Sierra Leone, I believe this was a wonderful experience for me. And of course, coming to America was a complete shocker. From the time I land in America, in the cold, because I had to wear a jacket. Even before I landed in America, getting in the plane was a problem, because, you know, why am I leaving? Where are you taking me? You know, I remember escaping my auntie's hand to take me to the airport. I didn't want to go, and getting in the plane, you know, flying for the first time, going through that experience, and then landing in New York. I remember landing in New York. It was a cold winter night, you know, and having to wear a jacket. And then one of my fondest memory I remember was the escalator. You know, how to get on that escalator and go up and down. So that was an experience in itself. From there, you know, growing up in the country, you know, you started realizing that it was totally different for Black and white people. You know, the Black culture, African culture wasn't really out there as, you know, as we would have, you know, liked. And of course, you know, we got teased a little bit because of our color, skin complexion. So everything was different, because coming from a dominant place where Black people are to a place where it's more dominated by another race was getting used to. But we got used to it.
Definitely. What part of America after you moved from Africa, what part of America did you grow up?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. Oh, okay, nice. All right. So moving on, where did your love for technology, you know, come about? Because I understand that even as early as from you were like 4 years old, you were trying to create something to deal with electricity. So tell me.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, you know, like, you know, some of us are born, I guess, with a gift of knowing something that's not right. I just knew that for some reason, you know, why am I in darkness? Why, you know, you think about all these things, and so we used to create different things. Okay, how can we put light in this house? So, you know, we got a car battery, we got a light bulb, we got wire, and we try to make it work. It didn't work, but, you know, at least having the idea of doing that and the creativity. Of course, you know, we made our own kites back then out of paper. We made our own, here they call it a remote control car, but we made our own cars where we took wires, we took, you know, wheels, and we just put it together. We were very creative. And I think most people, you know, like in the Caribbean, in Africa, in this part of the world, are very creative. Just because, you know, because we have time to create. We're not too busy or focused on TV and other things. So at that moment, it was creative. And then from there, moving to, you know, the USA, it just hit me that, okay, I'm watching television. I'm not seeing me. I'm not seeing people represented by me. And something just told me this doesn't seem right. Why is it just one-sided? And what can I do about this? And that's where the exploration of, you know, technology and creating platforms started.
Okay, so for our viewers who may not know much about you, tell us about like your professional background, because I know and we are going to discuss the app that you have created. Well, this viral app, no, but tell us about your background in terms of career.
Sure. I have always been in sales and marketing. From there, I went to school studied business, studied engineering. From there, I'm an entrepreneur, so I own my own telecom company for a few years. And right now I'm in the healthcare field where I help people on dialysis. So I have a wide range of skills from sales, marketing, business to healthcare, based on my skills. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So you still have that telephone company as well?
No, we have sold that. We sold that company as well.
Yeah, sold it. Okay, so from ever since you have been an entrepreneur and love creative and love creating, I should say, and just love making things new.
Right.
All right. So moving forward now, you have developed this voice messaging app, and as we know, persons have been looking for great, options out there. And tell me about it, Supfrica, because I understand it went viral, not only just in Africa, but also in Asia as well.
Right, yeah. So Supfrica has been an idea since 2017 or so. Like I said, the goal of who I am and, coming from Africa, the American lifestyle, seeing things that were created, but not really created for us. As we know, back in slavery, there was a lot of, slaves that created and invented different things that were never given credit for. So learning that, I said, well, I want to create something that was created by an African, by a Black person, because people now feel that we can create. And even if it's already created, but rebranding it as an African product, making it look and feel for people like me, looking at the options, why am I creating this? So Supfrica, the idea behind Supfrica came from being in Africa, where I would always hear my grandmother shouting on the phone, talking to my mother in America, because, you can't really, you gotta walk all around the bush to your house to get good signal. And then coming to America, and my mother still doing the same thing, trying to talk to my grandmother because of the quality of, connectivity. So the idea was, okay, how can I make this work? We already know there were some other messengers already out here already, popular ones. But what am I focusing on? Number one, I wanted to focus on how can we make sure people that live in the village or the rural areas or far, far away can still be connected, still use the 2G and the 3G. So that was one of the main thing that we went to work on. And then the second one was, okay, we come from a place where we say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village, for people to come together as a community. So most of these platforms, they give you a limit of maybe 200, 300 people in a group. We decided to increase that to 500,000 or more. And we know as us as Africans or African diasporan, privacy is important because you go to your family, you go to your friend, you tell them your secret, and you hope that that it's going to stay. So privacy was also an element. So those three elements was one of the focus for Supfrica.
Wow, that's amazing. I was shocked just now where you mentioned 500,000 people can be added in a group.
Yes, so yeah, in a group, yes. Yes.
And for those who are not clear, it's a voice messaging app, right?
Yes, it's similar to the other popular apps out there as well. That's Messenger. It's a messaging app where you can make phone calls, text, audio, and video calls.
And that's with persons anywhere across the world.
Yes, as long as you have data, internet connectivity, you can also talk to anybody. And we also have a feature there where even if you're offline, you can receive messages.
Wow.
Text messages.
Why do you think it got popular so quick, especially, in Africa, Asia, well, and also in America as well? But what do you think was the secret behind that?
Right. I mean, for me, like I always say, I was shocked because I've been doing this now for 20 years. I've developed other platforms that nobody really did. We had our own Facebook. We had our own live streaming platform like this called VoiceCast. We have a Facebook called Africa's Faces for Africans. We created the first internet radio station called African Radio. So we've been doing this for a while, but back then I was fighting to push my culture. And because most of our people who look like me or a little lighter than me didn't want to embrace being African. They want to embrace being from Jamaica or Haiti or the islands who were really not happy with ourselves. So me now was a visionary. I said, okay, well, I want to create these things. I'm creating these things, but my people are not really. They're always saying that, oh, it's already created. You know, Africans are not on the internet. Africans are not going to do this, so on and so forth. But I knew that at some point we're going to get there. So for me, being a creator, I knew that we'll get there. And, you know, I think around this time, to answer your question, maybe I believe, number one, the corona brought us closer, you know, as families and trying to communicate with each other. I think that brought us closer. And number two, I think now we're looking at empowering ourselves as Africans and as Black people and as African descendants. You know, I think we're starting to realize that, you know, number one, we have to do for ourselves. Number two, we have to support ourselves. And I saw a lot of more of the Pan-African way of people that embrace this. This, I think, was embraced by the African people first, because they were the ones saying that we need our own products, we need to support our own products. So I saw them, took it and pushed it. And when people realized that this was owned by an African or an African descendant, I think they just said it was time, especially around the time when I believe WhatsApp was now looking at privacy issues and things like that. So I think all those together made this accepted very quickly and went viral, because, you know, it wasn't out to the public. It was for a beta test, and it just went. And I always believe when the atmosphere says your time is your time. So we didn't rush it. We didn't market it. We didn't push it. We didn't advertise it. It just went.
Oh, that is amazing. And some powerful points that jumped out to me there, because you rightly mentioned you've been doing this for 20 odd years in terms of pushing technology through the different companies and also the different initiatives that you've done through your work. Right. At the same time, it's a matter of timing, because this is when this went global. So one of the things I wanted to touch on you is, firstly, the power of persistence. How crucial is that? Because that would have contributed to largely what you are doing.
Yes, and that's one thing I always tell. It's very, very, very important. You know, people look at people that have made it, or they think they've made it, and they say, oh, it happened overnight. No, it takes a long time. It's like sand, you know, like planting a seed, and you're looking to, you know, get fruit from it. You got to plant that seed. You got to water that seed. Maybe sometime there'll be sun. Maybe sometime it'll be cold. But you just got to continue to persevere. So it's very, very, very important. Like in my time, our focus was, like, let's say 2005, between 2000 and 2005, our focus was how can we promote and enhance Africa and the African diaspora, you know, my Jamaican brothers, my Haitian brothers and sisters, and all these people who were African descendants, how can we embrace our culture? So we were the forethinkers. And people after me, when they came after us now, they're more focused on the money, you know, like, you know, how can they make money? So that was the difference. Was we were more into, nobody's looking at us. We need to create our own. So because there was no people not looking at us, it takes time. So I say, whatever you're doing in life, if this is what you want to do, push, continue. Even if it's just you. I remember starting the first African internet radio station. I was the DJ. I was the host. I was the guest in my, like what you're doing right now, in my own little, you know, square room doing this. People were laughing at me saying, you're wasting your time. Africans don't have internet. They don't have computers. Who's going to listen? Who's going to go online and stream? And here we are, you know, years later, internet radio, video streaming is the top of it all. So, you know, these are things that I will put out there. If you're doing something, don't give up if you love what you're doing.
Wow, that is amazing. And I can definitely identify with that, because sometimes with my program, I'm producing and presenting and editing, except for when you might contract out some things, but most things I'm doing, so I definitely can identify with that. But especially the quote that I like that you use, as a matter of fact, I literally saw that quote again yesterday. The fact that it's not the same day that you plant the seed that the plant will grow. So it takes some nourishment to get there. So I really do appreciate you sharing that, you know, motivation with our viewers. Okay, so I'm sure the rewards to date, even though this is, you know, especially the Supfrica is still relatively new on the market, but I'm sure it also has to some amount of financial rewards already.
Right. So right now we're launching Supfrica next month. So we had to pull it out because it was a beta test, and it went so well that we have to enhance some more features because, like I said, we added extra features to make sure that the people that we were creating this for are able to use it well. So we have some people who are interested in investing and supporting us. We put it out there that we're looking for support. We have a GoFundMe page to help us. But one of the main things that people have always told me is, and I believe this in my heart, like, are you going to sell this? Because what usually happens is, people create stuff like this, it becomes well, then they sell it, to others who may not have the same idea or the same belief or the love for why you created it in the first place. So yes, there's people out there interested in buying it, which could give me financially reward, maybe last week or last month. But if it's not the person who is genuine, who sees why this was created, to enhance and uplift, Africans and African diasporans globally, then I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in somebody, because money comes, money goes. At the end of the day, you want to create a legacy so your children and grandchildren can see, okay, wow, this is what we did. You can take money and then the money is done. What have you done for your community? What have you done, from the place where you came from? How did you use what, your gift that you have, the money that you were given to enhance others? So right now we haven't taken any money yet, but we're looking for the right investors and the right people to work with us.
That's a very good point, that the vision is so crucial, and that others who come on stream have to be in line with whatever vision or goal that you are working towards, right? That's so crucial. Okay, so we're winding down. I can't believe already. But one of the things I generally like for our Trailblazer guests to share is, first and foremost, tell us how is it that persons who are interested can download a Supfrica or get it?
Right. So currently the app is available for download only. It's on the Play Store. You can go on the Play Store, just search Supfrica, and you'll be able to download it. When it's fully launched globally next month, it'll be available on the App Store as well. And we also have our own App Store, which is called Appsfrica, appsfrica.com, which was created for Africans and African diasporans developers to also upload their apps. So those 3 locations, they can get it.
Okay, viewers, so definitely remember to get that and download it from the various platforms. And I will make sure that I will type that out as well, so persons can just quickly look at that up. I will also put the link in our description box so you can just click and download it. All right, so yes. So as we wind down, I wanted you to share with us, because you have been doing amazing things in your, not only your home country, but also giving back as well through, not only your work, but also philanthropy, and just really having a vision and a cause that is just greater than you. So share with us, what do you believe are perhaps some golden rules for success, some top golden rules for success? And it doesn't matter for who, anybody at all.
Right. So one thing I would always say, the few things I have, number one, never forget where you come from. For instance, not all of us are given the opportunity to maybe come to America or leave where we're from. I mean, I'm a person that came from Sierra Leone, maybe living in a little shack, no water, no electricity, nothing like that, but was given the opportunity to come to America to possibly educate myself and enhance myself and use that not only to help myself or other people. I would say be a ladder, be a stepping stone, be somebody that gives back, that looks back and say, it's not only about me. How can I enhance? How can I help other people? How can I give a rope and pull somebody up as well too? And that's why I always live my life, is that, okay, you're given an opportunity. Here you are. Now, what are you going to do now? Challenge yourself to make sure you help others, and do it for the right reasons, not because of any selfish reasons or you want something in return. At the end of the day, if you do something that's from the heart, then it will come back to you, even if it's not you, maybe for your child or your grandchildren in the future. So always be willing to help others. Always be willing to make sure you give a helping hand and stepping stone. And you know what? At the end of the day, what I learned is teach what you have. You don't want to, tomorrow, maybe your last day on earth, you take what you know with you. Be able to teach, be able to give up people to learn and people to be a sponge on who you are and what you've learned. Always be willing to teach others and show others how to move forward in what you've done. So those are the things I would say. You just be all you can. We all can't be perfect, but at the end of the day, we know how we feel. We know what it is to be a good person and a good human being.
Oh, that is amazing. And we got quite a bit of golden nuggets there, some golden rules for success. Thank you so much, Mr. Hafiz. It has been a pleasure just to hear your story. We'll hear a bit of your story, hear about your persistence, hear about your success. And we know that, Supfrica and all the other initiatives that you're doing will just continue to flourish globally. Thank you so much for sharing on the program.
Right. Thank you so much. You're doing an incredible job, a wonderful job. You have a great persona, great spirit, and I wish you success with your show. My company is always here. We look forward to always returning back and giving you exclusives of what we're doing. And we wish you the best. And we thank your guests for watching and listening to your program and listening to us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Blessings.
Remember to subscribe and join the Trailblazers family for weekly inspirational content that not only will edify you, but will provide you with the tools and strategies that you need to succeed and become your best self and blaze your trail.